Wow. Different setup than last night, and this is going to work. No dragonfly. No visitors
Not
under the
yet.
grape leaves.
And the dragonfly may show up.
Yep.
You never know.
Yep. So, Kevin Estrella has come down from the Ontario, Canada area to visit and spend some time with us and be next to the Sandia Mountain crew and the Valles Caldera Sasquatch clans and experience things here that are new, but also help us relay stories and things that have happened to not only us, but other experiencers of the Pontee and the phenomena of contact all over the world now that is new and unprecedented in all of ET contact. And what we're talking about is we had a star nation called the Pontee contact us in 2013 and then give us a training manual for their telepathic communication and give us protocols for contacting them so that people all over the world would learn how to invite the Pontee Star Nation to visit them at their event, whether it's a CE5 event out in a forest somewhere or a hilltop, or if it's people wanting to invite the Pontee to their home and see them at their house. And so when that training manual was published, it was translated into a dozen major Earth languages within months, and people all over the world began practicing their telepathy and also inviting the Pontee to come visit them, and then they received those visits and have been sending us back the stories of that contact since it began. And that started out in 2018 was when we were first starting to get the first stories back of people who had learned how to invite the Pontee to visit them. And then they began to have all kinds of questions for us. So what we're hoping to do with this series of small vignettes or stories is to talk about some of the things that have been related to us from other contactees or things that have happened to us, or tidbits of things that have never been shared publicly and need to be.
Or is this, is this real? Because it's actually happening.
Yes.
Because I remember when I first read the Telepathy 101 primer, and my experience that happened immediately that evening too.
That same night.
That same night.
Wow. There are a number of people who have stories of, I learned about the Pontee and within 24 hours, ... happened. And so let's talk about that. One of the things that we ask people is, what brought you to the Pontee and learning about them, or the Twitter account or the Facebook page? How did you discover this, and what kept you coming back? And when you think about your own experience, first of all, I think you were one of the first people very early on. The Twitter account opened in June of 2015, the first week of June. And the social media accounts were requested by Commander Tealcom, who manages the Sandia Mountain Information Station. The Sandia Mountain is 10 miles in that direction east of us, on the eastern edge of Albuquerque. It is one of the mountains at the very southern end of the Rocky Mountain chain that runs north-south in the western third of the United States. When I was first contacted, it was Tealcom that contacted me, and people say, who's Tealcom? Or Sandia. We gave him a nickname before we knew his real name. And this is Tealcom. And I'm going to kind of tilt it so that in case it's being glary with the glass on top, you can still see. Commander Tealcom, or Sandia, that's his nickname, contacted us, and within a year of that first opening of the Twitter account, first it was Tealcom by himself, and then Drudy, Radar, and Tani in 2016 started to join him. And behind you is Drudy. You want to show our people which one is Drudy?
This is Drudy, and that's Drudy as well.
Okay. And then Radar is he too low for people to see down there? Radar is, of all the members of the Ponte Sandia Mountain staff, probably one of the youngest and the jokester, the trickster, the prank guy, the sassy, the I want to be different, the Brinkman, who always is pushing the outside edge of things. This is Radar. And this was the first story, funny image that I did of the Ponte on a backer board to try and portray Radar the way he really is, as a cut-up, as a jokester. And so before this, I had been doing fairly serious pictures of the Ponte on paper that was square from this kind of a sketch pad. But once I ran out of the paper, there was the backer board. And so the backer boards of these became all of the amusing pictures of Radar, whether it was him with the cat in the hat or moonwalking, learning to moonwalk, or surfing, or going woohoo down the roller coaster hill. But all of the fun pictures of the Ponte started out going on to backer boards like this, just so that they didn't get wasted. And then slowly, the public around the world, all of the Twitter followers and then the Facebook people also, got to know the personality types of the Sandia Mountain crew and got to know them by name and began to invite them. And we encouraged the general public who was interested in all of this to get to know each of the crew members by what their specialty was or what their interest area was, so that if they wanted to invite, say, an engineer, they knew that they could contact Dell, who is the fleet master, the fellow that runs the hangar bay and keeps all the vessels, the craft that they fly, in working order. Dell is up and behind you on the very top picture back here. Dell is the oldest member of the Ponte crew, and in his day was a pretty hotshot pilot. Now he is very content to take care of the entire fleet. But if you want to understand how their craft work, study the Telepathy 101 primer and invite Dell to dialogue with you.